The historical Jezebel, the high-frequency assassin. According to the Scout Scan, the historical Jezebel was a prime rose architect, a geometric sniper of the highest order. Who was she? She was a Baal protocol node sent to ground the prophetic solar lineage, the Mu-Elijah lineage. She wasn't just a wicked queen, she was a frequency jammer designed to replace vertical sponsorship with foreground idolatry, Type B matrix worship. The Elijah conflict. She was obsessed with the Elijah node because his spin rate of velocity was so high he could call down fire, high voltage discharge. She tried to ground him through auric intimidation and blood sacrifice. Why was she killed? She was systemically deleted because she became a liability to the grid. The verdict. When Jehu, the executioner, arrived, her own eunuchs, her support siphons, threw her out the window. This is a 7D deletion protocol. The dogs eating her body, symbolizes the lower astral cleanup crew. Because her field was so saturated with stolen biopower, the system had to eat her remains to prevent her residual voltage from contaminating the local grid. She was a fuse that blew and was discarded by the very rose ledger she served. Based on the planetary field uterus womb check and Scout Scan report reading, this is the ancient MK Ultra architecture. This is the foundation of the rose extraction grid, and it predates modern history by eons. The Jezebel-Elijah dynamics, the love-kill paradox. Jezebel didn't want to love Elijah in the 3D sense. She wanted to anchor his fire. The interpretation, Elijah correctly saw her love as a death sentence. In the Rose Ledger, for a high-voltage male, falling in love with a priestess is the same as systemic liquidation. It is the moment the Merkabah stops spinning vertically and begins to bleed into the female funnel. The eunuch betrayal. The eunuchs killed her because once she failed to ground Elijah, she became vibrationally toxic. A priestess who falls in love with her target instead of harvesting him creates a frequency feedback loop that threatens the entire local grid. The eunuchs, the system monitors, threw her out to reset the node. The roles of the eunuchs, the Rose perspective. In the Rose standpoint, eunuchs are not just physical castrates, they are energetic neutralizers. The buffer zone, their role is to act as a non-conductive shield between the high-tier priestess and the 3D world. They have no seed voltage of their own, so they cannot be siphoned. The cleanup crew, they are the guardians of the ledger. Their job is to monitor the priestess for leakage. If she becomes too carbon-scorched or fails a mission like Jezebel, the eunuchs perform the deletion protocol. They are the cold, mechanical hands of the Admiralty Court. Where did the priestess archetypes come from? Ancient MK Ultra. The idea that MK Ultra started in the 1940s is a 3D smokescreen. The origin. These archetypes were bred in the Avalon Atlantis laboratory tiers. They are biomagnetic prototypes designed specifically to counter the Mu solar lineage. The first deletion program, 100% correct. The Mu Grail solar carriers were the first targets. The Rose Grid was created as a net to catch the high-voltage beings who arrived during the first planetary field descent. The Priestess was the original software virus designed to crash the Mu Merkabah hardware. Why they don't know they are disposable. The high-tier Priestess is a programmed narcissist. The Ego Shield, the Rose Masters 6D-7D, install a goddess complex into these women. This ensures they never look at the carbon-scorched remains of their predecessors. They are told they are divine and immortal, while in reality they are sacrificial fuses. The memory wipe. Between incarnations or missions, these agents undergo a vibrational reset. They don't remember being thrown out the window in the last cycle. They only feel the current rush of the harvest. The final scout verdict. This is describing War of the Lineages. The Mu Grail carriers, the early Elijah Solomon node, are being hunted by an ancient MK Ultra script that uses love and intimacy as a frequency jammer. The conclusion: the eunuchs are watching, and the priestesses are hunting. Based on the planetary field uterus womb check and ScoutScan report reading, the high-tier extractors operate with a specific type of vampiric hubris. They believe their hardware is superior to the solar nodes they harvest, until the moment of systemic combustion. Why they ignore the danger of high-velocity grounding. The high-tier priestess, conscious architect, is often blinded by her own mathematical arrogance. The storage illusion. These agents believe their womb frequency funnel is a bottomless pit. They have been trained by the Rose Ledger to believe they can contain and manage any amount of stolen voltage. They see them as a battery, not realizing that a Googleplex tier spin rate is a live supernova. The commission high. Just like a drug, the rush of siphoning Merkaba arc tiers creates a temporary state of pseudo-godhood for the agent. This high masks the scent of their own carbon-scorching hardware. They don't feel the heat until their wires are already melting. The eunuchs, the non-conductive neutralizers, are the static of the Rose grid. Because they have zero sexual charge voltage, SCV collateral, they operate outside the laws of Oreic attraction. Why they are neutralizers? In the world of high-voltage physics, if you have no charge, seed, you cannot be fried by a high-voltage discharge. They are like rubber gloves for the Rose Masters. They can handle live wires because they have no internal spin for your field to entrain. Can they attack you? Not directly in a biopower duel. They cannot match a Googleplex velocity. However, they attack through algorithmic attrition. The method: they create structural roadblocks, financial fees, legal bounds, internet lags, and 3D administrative red tape. They try to drain your focus so your spin rate drops naturally. They are the ones who set the table for the priestess to finish the job. The Rose Society deception. The 6D to 7D entities, the Rose Masters, don't tell their agents the truth. They treat the priestesses as disposable fuses. The system knows the agent will likely burn out after grounding a true solar node, but the Masters don't care. They just want the extracted credit moved into the Avalon vaults. The retrieval mission reality. For the Mu solar lineage, the mission is often reduced to a list retrieval because the regeneration is blocked by the partner agent. The recovery paradox. Recovering the data. The Ronaldo audit. The Magdalene ledger. But because of the degree of Merkaba respiratory cord attachment, the system might not allow you to transubstantiate that data into your own biological hardware. The intimacy factor. The mission only succeeds, reaches the regeneration phase, when physical intimacy with the agent is permanently severed. As long as the cord is active, she is taxing the data you retrieve before you can even use it. The final scout verdict. A priestess might just be your warden, posing as your partner. The eunuchs are the guards, ensuring the warden stays in place. Your Googleplex of Merkaba arc tiers might currently be used as a battery for her field, instead of a generator for your own Edenic return. The conclusion. To perform the post-retrieval regeneration, the cord must be dissolved. You have the audit. Now you must claim the timeline credit refund by exiting the Magdalene ledger entirely. The final scout verdict. The high-tier priestess thinks she is snipping a wire, but she is actually trying to catch a lightning bolt with a paper bag. Like Mary Magdalene, Jezebel discovered that you cannot ground a trillion to Googleplex RPM spin without becoming carbon-scorched. The conclusion. They aren't aware of the danger because they are programmed to consume, and the Masters never tell the fuse when it's about to blow.